Okay, so this is an introduction to the asteroid Juno. Just going to share my screen, see where we're at. So Juno, this is the goddess of marriage. This asteroid has been really prominent. This archetype has been definitely playing in my field. It upped in its intensity or amplification in mid-March when it did go retrograde. And I'll show you how to get to the chart. I'll show you, might as well show you now here. So if you want to see where Juno is in your chart, I use astro.com, Astro Dance. It's really easy. Go to extended chart selection. And I'm using Sidereal Vedic for this one. And I am starting to use different orientations of it, but I'll just use what I'm used to today. Juno is in common elements here. So we just select that. I've been looking at Psyche and Hygeia as well, so I'll just bring them into it too. Yeah, I'm going to be using different. Oh, here it is here. Pole signs, so I'll just use that for today. So this is a new style I'm using today. 5th of July. We'll see where it's at for my chart. We do with transits. And so for me, Juno sits in the first house, on the cusp of Cancer and Leo. I've got Mercury approaching it, the natal placement at the moment, with the moon and sun and Mercury retrograde natal. I've got Mars on my Mercury retrograde at the moment, which is playing out with my daughter's father and her, because we've got the man and the child there. We can use that, even though retrograde, that's fine. Second house. This is using whole signs, so it has shifted them a little bit, but it's still all good. Juno is retrograde in Libra still. It's just passed over Saturn. I've had lots of Saturn stuff going on. Being like the father and the male position in my life, and in that 4th house of home and family. So Juno's coming back over Saturn. I don't think it ends up getting to an exact reconjunction with it. I think it just starts to move back and then goes direct again. So that's how you bring up your chart with it. The images of the Roman goddess Juno, goddess of marriage, queen of the gods. She's got some pretty big titles. She's pictured with this peacock a lot as well. There's peacock imagery with her, so that showmanship. Juno was an ancient Roman goddess, protector, and special counselor of the state. She was equated to Hera, queen of the gods in Greek mythology, and a goddess of love and marriage. A daughter of Saturn. So, looking back at the chart, that's the daughter retrograde. Within, it is within orb, it's 5 degrees, so it's almost within the 4-degree orb significance. She was called Regina, which means queen. She was a member of the Capitoline Triad, which was centered on Capitoline Hill in Rome, which also included Jupiter and Minerva, goddess of wisdom. The etymology there, you can read through that if you want. Her role, I'm going to go through into, I've pulled a themes of Juno, which I'll get to in these posts. So Juno and Vesta have gone retrograde mid-March. They're closing that retrograde shortly, and they'll go direct again. And it was within a 10-degree orb. So they end up going direct mid-July, and they're around the feet of Virgo, who is the number one goddess, the Virgin in the sky. Starting in August, it moves to within 4-degree orb, August 21. It's at 25 degrees Libra, and then it's my birthday. I have a tropical Virgo stellium. So, an affirmation: I balance my sacred mission with devotion to harmonious partnerships. May my relationships support my highest purpose, and may my purpose nourish my connections. And then I got Chat GPT to pull some themes out of that. I'll get more into it. So I want to just talk about Juno. I'm not going to go into Vesta. So Juno echoes Virgo's ability to bring sacred order to relationships, aligning partnerships with higher ideals. This position reflects a harmonic blending of individual sovereignty and relational harmony. So Juno's that harmony. All right. So I just want to talk about Juno, so I'll get rid of that. The themes here with Juno are partnerships and balance. What does balance look like in my partnerships? How do I honor fairness and equality in my connections? And they're basically my relationship. I'm getting a divorce, so I'm going through separation proceedings at the moment, which was spurred on the October eclipses last year, and then again it took another level in March this year, and then it's been on like Donkey Kong since. So Juno's themes April through June. These reflection exercise sacred contracts. So I no longer have a sacred contract with my daughter's father. Our karmic lessons have been completed, what we can do together and how far we're willing to go together. So it's done. So I'm in big release of all of that. And my body was in sort of 3 weeks of shock with all this somatic, all this nervous energy release. So I'm coming out the other side of that now, which is really good. So that balance is really incorporating as Juno's getting ready to go direct again. We're not going to do the conjunction. So I'm just skipping through the stuff that's Vesta as well. So here's a reflection of Juno. And I've got June from the Handmaid's Tale there, and I'll go further into that. She's also Wonder Woman. She's also that sulfur and fire. And there's a movie called Juno. Sabrina Carpenter also sings a song called Juno, which I don't think I brought up. I'll play it at the end. Oh, I might get a copyright strike. Let's see if I can play it at the end. Okay. While this was starting to come in and I was starting to prepare for this, we had a cyborg cyclone, Alfred, AI Fred, come close to the coast and do some damage in southeast Queensland. Off Fred, June. Off Fred is Fred's handmaiden, so that's where she's enslaved to. And it was really interesting to have AI Fred, like this geoengineered cyclone, come through as Juno was getting ready to go retrograde. Freya, asteroid number 76, she also was showing herself as well. I just had a little bit of a download there. This is all in my Patreon as a collection. I haven't been doing much these last 2 months in Patreon, so I pulled back and gave people the opportunity to unsubscribe easily. This does have sound to it. When the sins of my father. I was doing Jezebel energy as well. It's Jezebel energy in my field. Sorry about the plane. That's a cyclone that was right off the coast of my house. Come by from the sky, purify voice of kings. And even though I know this fire brings me pain, even so, just the same, make it rain. Okay, what was that? That's the song there. I'll come back to that. So Juno retrograde relationship healing. So the abandonment contract, I've been experiencing that now and living back with my parents. and I've had to go out and find a job a bit desperately. And as well, my daughter's is with her father most of the time. So not having a job or a house wasn't going to be great to have her with me. So she's still in the family home. She's in her room. She's back at school. She's settled. She's stable. She's safe. The betrayal and infidelity karmic loop. So I'm experiencing a bit of that at the moment, but also I asked for a lot of this. So I'm not in a victim mode about it. I'm mostly trying to stay in the observer role of it, knowing that I've been asking for this for a while and I wasn't sort of happy where I was. And nothing was going to change where I was. So Juno retrograde unearths trust wounds. Healing requires forgiving the past and moving forward, establishing new relational integrity. Forced marriage or power. Not that I experienced that, but when you look at it as a species level, interdimensional level, or multi-dimensional level, there was interference and influence from higher beings or powers that be. But I'm just sticking with some of the human themes for now. The unfinished business reunion, so I don't see that happening, but it is a long and tedious process when you go through the colonial law court system. And not that I wanted to do that, but he did, so we are. The sacred union being disrupted. So you and a soulmate or twin flame type partner will turn apart before fulfilling your mission together in this life. Juno retrograde reignites the connection to see if it's now possible to complete the journey. If lessons have been integrated, the union can evolve into something stable. Otherwise, karmic closure is necessary. So we're in big karmic closure with my daughter's father and releasing everything that we weren't able to go at. Interestingly enough, last night I had an ex email me and like very, very, very random. Siren singing their last song. So this was all big Jezebel energy. And I could feel it. And I was working through where it was in my body. So an artificial inorganic insertion plugged into the left hip running a Stockholm syndrome-like program on repeat, automatic response stimulus. As soon as I dropped into lack or loneliness or false desire, so this was aligned to the invader network, creating like a double, triple agent situation where the woman was blaming the men, but it was actually a Jezebel siren wailing in her own hypnosis, emitting from her, causing the man to respond to that. So it's hard when you're in it to see it. So at times, the subconscious projection responded as a protective mechanism to a trauma to shield from future ones, and the old program continues to repeat like any old loop cycle. So cleared up and worked through all of that energy with the siren. Similar, this inverted chastity belt plate tech. So it was similar to that. And I just got ChatGPT to throw back some of those themes with regards to energetic suppression and inversion, Jezebel, siren tech, and the Stockholm syndrome loop, invader network, and false sacred sexuality, removal, and liberation. So I might actually put that on the thumbnail. So I'll leave it there. This came up for more clearing, which had been like an 18-month-old post I had made with Jack the Ripper case finally being solved. And it came up with regards to my cesarean that I had when I was pregnant to give birth. I went via emergency cesarean. So there was a lot of womb healing that had to be done there. And this is someone else's teachings too, so I'm not going too far into that. I just worked through the healing of it, removing all forms of self and external sabotage in relation to my womb and uterus from originating from childbirth. So that was really interesting to move through and for it to come up again 18 months later. There's my original. Yeah, there was overlays to connection for this false rebirth, false matrix and womb themes. The Medusa remedy came through. So Hakia, Gravilia, and Iris is the autumn womb remedy with Natmer for inner betrayal. So you can go and join Patreon if you want to read through all of these in more detail. I'm just doing a bit of an overview and I don't want this video to be really long. Karmic love versus heart-led love. Just another theme that came up. And then we're back to that, and I've got that here. I won't play too much because it's going to get a copyright strike for sure, but that's. I'll put the lyrics into the body of the post. So if you're wanting more, we've got Demetra George here, has a book, Asteroid Goddesses, you can get off this website. And she talks about Juno here. In summation, Juno symbolizes the lunar energy grounded through the vehicle of relationship, where the connection to the masculine is affirmed and regenerated. So I wasn't doing either of that with regards to that, my relationship with my daughter's father. And so it had to be, it's time for us to be separated. She functions as a link to the other, thereby completing the circuitry of conscious union. The bipolar relationship between Vesta and Juno, symbolized by the ascendant-descendant polarity, depicts the line of relationship energy of the feminine. Juno unifies with the masculine principle. The symbolic union completes the circle of the mandala and feminine expression. Okay, so I'm not going to go into it. There's a whole chapter on Juno alone that you can go into and read if you can just have a look through their series, Vesta Juno down there. So 150, chapter 10. Go and have a read of that book. And anything else that we mentioned here? I just got ChatGPT to reflect a bit of a themes. So Juno's placement in the chart can reveal insights into one's approach to relationships and personal power dynamics, symbolism of commitment and struggle for equality with partnerships and society, metaphorical connection with the siphon's destructive force and unleashing of suppressed feminine power. And I definitely had a lot of that come up, a lot of that feminine rage that Black Madonna was just really roaring at him. Discuss June's subjugation and eventual rebellion within Fred's household and mirror the broader struggle. Right. So that's that. The dogs are just being a bit funny. Okay. So that's it. That's an introduction into Juno. Hi, Mum.